everybody, thanks for joining us today with our Facebook Live about the Calendar Girls. Excuse me, a girl's life. I cannot stop talking about Calendar Girls. This is a girl's live, and we're going to be talking about Miss June because this is the 6th month. So let me show you what you get in your box. First, this is the cute box that you will receive in the mail if you're a member of a girl's life.
And if you're not a member, you can still join.
Yeah, you can still join. And anytime you join, you start with the month of January and you progress all the way through the year in natural order. Makes it easier. So once you get your box in the mail, isn't this just the cutest box? Lindsay, who is the designer of the stitchery, Lindsay Ostrom, she designed the box for us. And we did this project in conjunction with Adorn It and us. And look at the back. Oh my gosh. It says, "We hope you enjoy every day, I can't read.
We hope you enjoy every stitch of a girl's life."
Thank you. My goodness. You guys, it's hard to read backwards. Plus, I'm left-handed. That doesn't have anything to do with the reading. But anyway, let's go on with what you get in this cute box. Once you get your box, you'll open it up, and there's tissue inside. Pretty little purple tissue.
Everything is wrapped in tissue.
Yes. And then you will find your pattern directions, which is a little booklet. You'll also find your stitchery sticker, which is Sulky Stick and Stitch, and it's a dissolvable sticker that you'll use. We'll talk more about that in a minute. You'll also have inside any thread that you get. Now, the month of June is the only time we get just one spool of thread only. Most of the other months, though, you've received about 9 or 8, and I mean lots of thread.
You get about 60 threads over the course of the year.
60 spools of thread over the year. You'll also have any laser cut pieces that are needed to complete the block, and then you will have your fabric, which is required for that particular block. Okay, so I'm going to move this box aside. I'm going to put these little guys over here too. We don't need them just right now. And I'm going to show you how to cut your block. Okay, so when you open your book, this is such a nice little booklet the way the pattern is done. At the top, it's going to tell you the sulky threads that you'll be using.
Do you want to hold it up for everyone to see?
Sure.
I think so.
And then what you'll notice is there's a little asterisk. Those are the threads that you've already received that you'll be using that month. And then there's whatever thread is new is listed. Okay, and then underneath that, we start with the cutting instructions and we state what the fabric is. Now, the first one is an orange checked fabric, and for this month with the orange checked, you actually have 2 pieces of fabric. And then we have pear, which is the green. We also have white with green Swiss dots. That's this right here. All of our fabrics are considered quilt shop fabrics. They mostly come from Raleigh Blake, Adorn It, Moda, pretty much is where we
Those 3, that's the entire quilt, yeah.
Yeah, primary fabrics. And then we have white fabric, which is Raleigh Blake solid white. This cute purple is, we just call it a purple print. It's actually from Adorn It, and it's a real nice little...
it's got a nice, like, visual texture on it.
Yes, a lot of texture.
I can't remember exactly what that print's called.
I can't either. Lots of things are floating through my head. So anyway, I apologize for not remembering that. So what we want to do is we want to start cutting. So I'm going to fold my little booklet, and I'm going to cut this in order. Now, we've given you pieces that are larger than you need. So the first piece we're going to cut is the orange checked fabric. So let me move these out of the way. And it says to cut 1 1.5 by 12.5, and 1 2.5 by 3.5. Okay, obviously this piece is going to be the one for your 1 inch by 12.5, because I can tell this is like 14 inches long. So I'm going to fold this way just to make it easier for me. And then I happen to have a rotary cutter and a little ruler back here, 2 rulers actually. And I'm going to give myself, actually, you know what? I'm going to do this, because here's my thing about checked fabrics. Sometimes they're not printed straight. So I like to try to find a straight line to make my first cut.
Do you need me to move the quilt a little for you?
Let me just rotate this mat, make it a little bit easier. Give myself a little more cutting space. Okay, and I would suggest that you press your fabric first. Obviously, for this purpose, I'm not going to do that today back here. So I'm lining this up actually on one of these straight lines here of the orange checked.
And this is so you can make sure that your gingham appears straight, correct?
Yes, because, you know, when you have it in a quilt and it's kind of like at an angle, it makes your block look crooked. Even if your block's perfect, it may still look crooked. So now I'm going to lay this like this, and I'm going to cut, check again, 1.5 by 12.5. So I'm placing this on the edge here, and this whole ruler happens to be 12.5. I should have this, I'm going to move it like this just because I have a nice, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this a different way. I'm going to line this up nice and neat here. It'll be easier to see what's going on. Sure, everybody probably knows how to cut this, but you can see.
Well, I like the tip about cutting and making it appear straight
Yes.
on the print. That's smart.
And then, you know, probably save this because when you have your finishing kit, you're going to have some, we're going to give you all the pieces you need for your sashing, but you may in some spot want to have a little piece of orange checked that maybe, you know, it's just nice to keep it, have it extra.
It's too big to throw away.
Yes. You've all heard the story probably about the quilter who died and she had bags that said scraps too small to save.
No, too small to throw away.
Or too small to throw away. But she saved them anyway. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to lay this on here. And this ruler happens to be 12.5, so I can just nicely line this up right here and give it a little whoosh right here. And if I had another ruler like I do, I'm going to lay this right up here. Do you guys know about this trick where you can, if you want to cut somewhere and your ruler's not doing the right thing, you can just use the edge of the other one, because we know that was 12.5. I should have brought my little scrap bowl back here. Okay, so now this is piece A. So we have these little alphabetties, which are, you can use a sticker or anything. Sorry guys, I'm just grabbing something.
Yeah, like a little Post-it note works great too if you want to write.
Yeah. Sorry, made a boom. I'll make lots of booms. Okay, so this is piece A. So I'm going to take my little A and stick it on here, and I'm just going to sit this right here. Okay? And now my second piece of the orange checked is 2.5 by 3.5. Now this piece of fabric measures 4 by 5. That way, no matter which way you turn it, you're going to be able to get it and not, you know, make a boo-boo. So I'm going to line up on the edge of an orange line again.
Let me zoom in so everyone can see.
Edge. I'm just getting a straight edge right here. See that little bit I cut off? And then I like to cut the widest portion first when I do this. And so I'm going to go to 3.5. Okay, and that should line right up right here on this. And I'm going to cut this off. 3.5. I'm surprised Brittany's not fussing at me yet about not closing my blade.
I know, I wasn't because we're live, but everyone, rotary safety, close your blade every cut.
I mean, it's so important. I mean, you really don't want to get cut because then
The second you cut yourself, you'll never forget. Ask me how I know.
Oh, see, that's why she's so good about
Actually, at a
reminding me.
retreat one time, I cut myself and it hurt, and
So you're good about it now.
and also as a company policy, anyone cutting has to keep it closed.
Yes, except...
Hi, Sylvie. First timer from Arizona. Welcome.
Hello. And this is 2.5. Okay.
Yeah, as everyone's watching, join and comment where you're from. We love getting to know where everyone's from. I think it's exciting. So we have Arizona. Didn't we go to Arizona? No, that was New Mexico.
We were close.
We were close.
We were close. Okay, so this piece is 2.5 by 3.5 of the orange check, and it's piece I. So I'm just going to lay this on here right now because I don't know exactly where it's going to fit on the
Hey, Patty.
on the thing. Hi,
Patty's
Pat.
joined us too.
Okay. And now we're going to...
And Judy. Hey, Judy. Ooh, from Arkansas. That's not too far away from us.
We did drive through Arkansas.
We've driven through Arkansas.
We sound like we never get out anywhere.
Only for quilt things.
Okay, so now...
And Kathy from New Mexico in the Four Corners area. Oh, and Patty's from Florida. Nice. You're probably sweating like us, Patty.
Yeah.
It's been hot here this season.
Of course, it's probably hot in New Mexico, too.
True. And Arizona.
When we were in New Mexico, it actually snowed.
It did.
We were
That
in
was
Albuquerque.
so surprising.
Okay, so this piece of pear is 10 inches by 3 inches. And what you're going to be cutting is 2 3.5 by 1.5 inch strips. So we know that 3.5 and 3.5 is 7. So we know we definitely have enough lengthwise, and then widthwise is the 1.5. So.
And hey, Sandy, she's from Florida too.
Hi, Sandy. Lots of Florida girls today.
I know, I like it.
So I'm using this ruler. So I know somebody's going to probably ask about this ruler. This is a Stripology Squared mini ruler, and I have a giant ruler like this, which I call the magic ruler. It's saved us so much time here with making kits.
Oh, yeah.
It's a wonderful ruler. It's kind of pricey, but it's worth every penny. And now they have this smaller version, and I use this a lot of times when I'm cutting blocks like this. So this piece is 3 inches wide, but we need it to be 1.5. So I'm going to use this ruler right here to give myself a nice new straight line, straight edge. And then I'm going to go over to 1.5, which is a star on here, and cut it.
Blade.
I don't care. I'm the boss. I can do it. Right?
Mom's the boss. She doesn't have to close her blade.
I can do it. Of course, as soon as I cut myself, I'll be sorry. Brittany's right. Okay. So then I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to have 2 3.5 by 1.5. So zip, zip, 3.5, right?
That ruler really is cool.
I closed it that time. How's that?
There you go. I like it.
Okay, so these pieces we say on here are B and D. So I'm just going to lay them up here and go B and D.
And for those of you just joining us, because I see a lot more people jumping on, we are doing a tutorial for the June block, Miss June, of a Girls Life Stitchery Club. If you're a member, we're so excited that you're here for the live tutorial. And if you're not a member, you can still join. You'll always start with Miss January, and we have video tutorials for every month, so you'll have no problem joining in and using the tutorials.
Okay, so now we're on to the next fabric, which is white with green Swiss dots. Actually, lime. I think this is so cute. I love the dots that we get from Riley Blake. Actually, I love dots, period. Okay, so this piece has to be 3.5. And if you look, you know, you get this long strip and you're like, okay, how am I supposed to cut this to make sure that I cut it right? Well, if you look on here, the width is 3.5 on every single piece. So that'll help you. And then 7.5 is the longest one. So I'm going to actually cut that one first. And actually, I do list these in the pattern kind of in the order that I think you should cut it, because it just makes it easier so that there are no mistakes. Now this little ruler only goes to 6.5, so I'm going to have to use this one. And I'm actually going to cut this at about 7 3/4 because I want to make sure that I can get a nice straight edge. So I'm cutting this off here. I'm going to push this aside. I'm going to turn this around and get it to 3.5, which we see we have a 5-inch wide strip, so I've got no problem with doing that.
Yeah, every month you get lots of fabric. Actually, I don't remember if I remember to post it, but in the June box, you end up with so much more fabric, and then we gave you extra applique pieces. You can actually make a little pin cushion. I don't remember if I shared that or not. I need to.
That was the May box.
Oh, May. Sorry.
May.
That was Miss May. Oh,
Yeah.
That's right. This is June.
Yeah.
In Miss May, you had enough to make a really cool pin cushion.
Okay, 3.5 by, this is supposed to be 7.5. I hope I'm not boring you guys by cutting all this individually for you, but we've had requests to do it this way, so
I think it's helpful for people.
We're
Hopefully,
helping out
you all
everybody.
let us know if it's helpful.
Or if we're just like making you watch the grass grow, which actually here in Florida right now, I think you can see the grass grow.
Yeah, we got some likes, so I think people are enjoying the cutting instructions,
Okay,
Mom. So
good.
you're good.
So I'm going to lay this guy over here with my little C on it. And then my next piece is 3.5 by 3.5 inch strips. So 3.5 times 3
Is 9.
10.5 inches.
Oh, sorry.
Right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Math.
We have a joke in our office that I can't count,
Well, sometimes neither can I.
which is really bad because I do a lot of the inventory.
Yeah. So, and then the other piece I'm going to need is a 2.5 by 3.5. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to take this piece and I'm going to cut it into a 3.5 inch strip. That'll make it easier and quicker and possibly more accurate. And let's see if this is not quite tall enough. This ruler does have its limitations. You can only cut about 7 or 8 inches width. It's for small things.
It's great for once you get to the individual block.
Yes, perfect for the...
Now, can I ask a question? Do you try and make your dots straight like you did the gingham?
No.
Okay.
Because it's just...
the dots are more random.
What I find, I did try that once on something, and generally I find the dots are, well, actually on this one they may be, in one direction they seem to be straight, in another direction they may not be. So I just give up. They're dots. It doesn't matter where they fall. They're kind of random. They don't generally cause you any, you know, like to make your block look crooked or anything.
Like a gingham might.
Yes.
Which is funny, the quilt behind you has a ton of gingham in it.
Yes.
That's the So Busy Bee quilt hanging.
Okay, so I'm going to cut, I need actually on this 3 3.5 inch squares. So I'm going to use this little magic ruler. Does anybody have one of these rulers? Do you like it?
It's the Stripology ruler.
Okay, there's 2, and these are called E, F, and J.
And so you're labeling the blocks as you go, because then when you get to actually assemble the block,
You can
the
put
pattern,
it in the right
exactly, the pattern gives you,
orientation.
and you don't have to worry about making an oopsie.
Yeah, it's much...
Sylvie does have one somewhere. Oh, you should find it. I bet you'd enjoy using it, especially doing this quilt.
It's good. I have to say, it took me a little bit to get used to it. It's a little tricky sometimes. I wasn't holding my rotary cutter the best way to get it in there to do it. But once you get the hang of it, it's great. It's a
Oh,
nice
good.
thing.
Kathy's about to get her first bee block. Oh, yeah, it should be there any day now.
A bee block?
A bee block. Yeah, that's
Oh.
exciting that you're doing that one. It's a lot of fun. I think we're going to start doing some live tutorials with the So Busy Bee too this time.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we had a bunch of new people join, so Mom's like, oh gosh, more.
Okay, and this 2.5 by 3.5 is piece M. So it just, having these little letters or making yourself some little stickers, like this one goes A through N as in Nancy, or N up to 6. It saves you some time when you're doing it. So we've got this piece left. I'm going to toss it over here. The next piece we have is the white fabric.
Oh, Danielle. Hey, Danielle. She has the bigger two, and she loves them.
Isn't it great? I mean,
yeah.
Saved my life.
Yeah.
Saved my life, especially when you're cutting binding.
It is a miracle for binding.
It's wonderful. Okay, I'm going to cut the purple first just because it's little and I just want to get it done with. Okay, so this is 2.5 by 2. So I can use this little guy. And actually, whoever it is that has the giant one,
Danielle.
Yep. Danielle, you can use that for cutting for this. It's just wonderful. I just happened to get the little one because I kind of like gadgets. It was cute.
We have the big ones in our kidding room. They're fantastic.
Yes. And if I ever try to do something at home, I'm like, oh man, my ruler's not here.
You don't have one at your house?
Actually, I do.
Oh, look at that.
I have a different one. It's taller. It's another one. They have another shape. I'm not sure what it is, but I've got it. Okay. This is 2 inches. And I'm supposed to cut 2 of them, so I can go to 2 and 4. Okay, guys. Toss my little bits. And these pieces are L and N. L and N. So I'm going to put these over here.
And I'll hold up the pattern for people that are just joining. We are going through the instructions of the Girls Life June. I hope that's in focus. But you can see that every instruction is listed by fabric order. And then we letter each piece so that when you're assembling your block for every month, it's much easier than having to think about like, oh, purple, red, yellow. You just have to go A, B, C.
Okay, now on the white fabric, it's, I think it's about 8 inches by, I don't know how big, but the pieces on here, you're going to cut 3 pieces. However, it's not listed in the order that I naturally want to cut it. The biggest piece is 6.5 by 6, and we listed that as last. But I'm going to cut that first, just to get my biggest piece off of here and make sure that I don't, fudge somewhere and get myself short. So it's 6.5 inch square. So I'm going to use this magic little ruler, and I'm going to cut it at 6.5 because I can. And then that's my straight edge. So I'm going to turn it and use that as my straight edge down here with the ruler at 6.5. Toss my little bits, and then I'm going to make my last square up side. I just love this ruler. I really do. I think everybody needs one.
Oh, Sylvie has a question. Are the little square alphabet pieces magnetic?
No.
They're just kind of like laminated plastic.
Yeah, they're
I do kind of wish that they had like double-sided stick tape. When I sew at home, if I ever use it, I'll put a little piece of double-sided stick tape, because if you move your pieces around, or maybe you don't finish the project that day, they can move, especially if you have a cat that might jump in your sewing space.
I don't have a cat.
I do, unfortunately.
Okay, so we've cut the 6.5, and the rest of them are 3.5 inches wide. So this is definitely wide enough, and it's 5.5 is the longest one, and then 3.5. So we know that that's 9 inches. This is definitely 14 inches. So I'm gonna fold this in half and cut myself a 3.5 inch strip with this handy little ruler.
You know what would be really cool, actually, Sylvie, with your idea of the magnets, if they put a little thin magnet plate inside the Steady Betty and then made magnetic alphabets. And then your pieces would stay right in place on your ironing surface.
You're kind of smart.
That's cool.
Maybe we should talk to Steady
I was
Betty.
going to say, I forgot her
Tell
name.
her.
We know her.
Kathy.
Kathy, that's right.
Tell her we have an idea for her.
Maybe we'll have a Stitches of Love Steady Betty. Kathy, if you're watching, we're calling you.
We have an idea for you. She has a Steady Betty, which is now called a Woolly Betty, and instead of being Steady Betty stuff on both sides, it's like the new wool mats
On one side,
on
yeah.
one side, and then the other side is the typical Steady Betty bit. So now I need a 3.5 by 5.5. I'm really impressed with myself that I can remember this. 3.5 and 5.5. Do you guys
You
see?
did write the pattern.
Yeah, like a year ago. And this is piece G right here.
Yeah, this is a fun little fact. This Girls Life launched in December, and the first boxes shipped in January, but it was a whole 12 months of the collaboration with Lindsay and Georgiana to design it, to make the quilt, to do photography, to write the patterns. So
Got this bit left. And this is piece H. 3.5 inch
Yay!
square. So now all of our pieces are cut, and I have them arranged here on this. What I would do next is kind of lay them out in order. And if you'll notice in your pattern, I'm really proud of the way we write this pattern, because in here, the next thing you have is your assembly instructions for the block. But if you turn the page, you'll also see something about the applique, and that's
the very back
that
page.
bit. But the next page, we have this nice picture of the block with close-up photos, and compliments to Georgiana at
The
Adornment.
photography is
She does the photography.
amazing.
We think she's a great photographer. And then on this back, we have the
Hold
layout.
it a little closer if you don't mind.
Oh, and this is how you're going to lay out your pieces. Okay, so they're, kind of go in alphabetical order, really, to an extent, but you definitely have to watch. And this is where, if you had that,
The magnet and the Steady
it would
Betty.
be great, yeah.
We'll call Kathy right after this live.
We'll tell her we got an idea for her. Now, one thing I do want to point out for those of you who are already a member of this, it's the first time I've noticed this. We did a little boo-boo. On this, your piece HIJ, as they come across here, it says Unit 3. We actually have 2 Unit 3s, and that's actually Unit 4. But it's not critical to putting this block together at all. You will understand completely how to do this. Not a problem. But what I would do next is just place this in order. on here, and then I just pick it up in the directions and follow the directions specifically on how to sew it together. I'm not going to go to the sewing machine today and show you how to sew it because
with the magic of video,
I'm pretty sure
like in the cooking show when they put the turkey in the oven and then it comes right back out cooked.
I'll let you take this.
The assistant behind the camera.
Thank you. So we already have one made for you, and I need to orient it the proper direction. It's wrinkled now. I do have it the right way. Okay, so here we have it put together, but without anything on it. Okay, so now what you would want to do, and also in case you're not a member, these little bits on the side are what we call
hoop fabric.
Hoop fabric. And that's because when you put your sticky on here and you want to stitch it with, you know, you're going to be holding it in your hand. If you're stitching something that's close to the edge, sometimes, which we do have a lot of things that come right up to the very edge of the particular block, you can't really hold it in a hoop. You get this open area. So we're going to use, we put these hoop fabrics on, we baste it on, and you can reuse it every month. I serge the edge of these. It works great.
You could also zigzag stitch if you wanted.
Yeah, you can zigzag it. I just happen to have a serger handy at the moment. So what you want to do then is I'm going to turn this back around to my
And I'm going to, everybody excuse the jumping around with the camera.
Okay.
I'm coming around to you, Mom.
You want to press your block nicely. We do tell you in your construction on how to press it, which way they go. And we do the pressing in a certain orientation just to make it easier for you because we know how things are going to be stitched. Like this little girl, she doesn't take up the full block, but something else may take up the full block, and so we want the seam allowances to go whichever direction so that it's not going to cause you trouble and have you try to stitch, you know, like do a back stitch through a seam. Okay, so the next thing you would do, let me open this up to the magic page. Where is it?
Right there.
Here it is. So we have pattern preparation and hand embroidery, and it's going to tell you to press your block. And let me stress this again to everybody. You do not want to iron this piece. This is your sticky. It's heat sensitive. Do not iron it. It will make it very difficult for you to get it off at the end when you immerse it in lukewarm water.
So you iron your block first, and once it's smooth and ready, then you go to your sticky portion.
Put this on here. Okay, so you will see that we have each block of these girls basically consists of the month written in some cute way that Lindsay did, a girl, a phrase, and then we have some other motifs.
I love the flip-flops this month.
Flip-flops are fun.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these apart. Now you want to leave yourself a little bit of room in between, and I'm just cutting these with scissors. You can use a rotary cutter if you want to, which I suppose maybe I should do that. It'll be quicker for everybody. Let me just set this aside. Don't want to cut my block. So I'm going to I'll just use the edge of this little guy. So I'm just going to leave a nice little space in between here, like a 1/4 inch in between both of these.
And for those of you joining, Mom is doing the tutorial for Miss June block of the Girls Life Stitchery Club. If you're not already a member, you should join because it's so much fun to stitch every month.
Yeah, we get so many compliments on the stitcheries. Everybody enjoys them. This is just was the extra piece on the bottom. I feel like there's no need to have a bunch of extra on there, so I will trim mine off a little bit. Don't hesitate to do that if you want to. Again, I'm going to try to make sure that I'm not too close to my S. I don't want to cut anything off. Just be careful when you do this.
Oh, the S of summer. I was like, where's the S in June?
Right there. Yeah, summer. Which I'm so hot right now.
It is exceptionally hot in our office for some reason today.
Yeah. It's just hot outside. The other day I got in my car and it said 109. I thought I was going to die.
Mm-hmm. But the rain has made it cool off a lot, which
It's been such pretty,
very grateful for that rain.
Pleasant rains. Oops.
Well, it's a little rough on the way to work this morning.
Not for me.
It's hard with the rain, though, because our doggie loves to play outside, and her little paw prints end up everywhere.
Okay, so now we have these little pieces, right? Okay, so if you'll notice in your pattern, we tell you exactly where to put it. June goes on piece C. So you can flip back to your back, which is piece C is right here. I sound like I'm saying PC, like politically correct. Or PC compliant, whatever that means with computers. Okay, so, isn't that right?
It is. PC compliance, yep.
Yeah, Brittany knows about that stuff. I don't care about that stuff. I'll let her worry about it. Okay, so here we have the cute word June. Isn't that just adorable? And so that's piece C. So what you want to do, obviously, it's big enough to fit on here, but I will use my scissors and I'm going to trim this down just a little bit closer because it is kind of does fill the block. Some of them fill a little bit more. You guys, I'm telling you, this was tricky to try to get everything to fit in the blocks.
A lot of math.
On one piece of paper, one piece of this sticky stuff, you know. Oh my goodness. Normally this is easy, but when you're on screen, oh, mercy me.
There you go.
Did I?
Yeah.
I did? Okay.
So the sulky stick and stitch is what your embroidery pattern is pre-printed on. While Mom is peeling it, it functions as a giant sticker that's pre-printed. And so after you stitch everything, you place it in lukewarm water and it disappears pretty much instantly. It's really exciting.
Okay, so what you're going to want to do is try to center this, just eyeball it. Because, you know, as they say, when you're looking at your quilt later, if you can't see it from a galloping horse, it's okay. Try to do your best. So I think that's pretty much in the middle. Sometimes I measure like with my fingers. Oops, about a finger width. So we have this one stuck on here. The next thing we're going to put are the flip-flops, which is piece H.
My favorite.
And piece H is right here. That's this little guy. And actually, you can also look at the front.
Yeah, the pictures in the middle of the pattern are very helpful, too. If you don't want to
Yeah.
read, you can use the pictures.
Just flip to either one. So the flip-flops go right here. Probably should trim that down a little bit, too. Yep.
The flip-flops are just so darling. Was it Julie that shared in the group yesterday her flip-flops that look so good?
Yes.
I
think so.
loved the way her flip-flops looked.
We love it when you guys show pictures of your stitching. It's so fun to see.
It gets us excited because, you know, we're behind the screen all the time. It's fun to know when everyone enjoys what we get to ship out.
Okay, so now I'm putting this up here because the bottom of this little flip-flop is right close to the seam. And I want to make sure that it's in there. So I actually could have scooted it up a tiny bit more, but it's on here. This is good. And then the next thing is the phrase. Let's see, did we tell you that? Nope, next is sunshine.
Piece J. It goes
Piece
alphabetically.
J. Oh, it does?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the sun, which is this happy little sunshine.
But you can put it in any order, of course.
Another reason that I trim this a little bit is because when you're dissolving, the less of this sticky stuff that you have to dissolve, the easier it is.
And we have a lot of tutorials you can look on our YouTube channel. You just type in Stitches of Love, and you'll see a bunch of videos of us dissolving it. It really dissolves in no time at all.
Okay, so here's my sunshine, which goes right here on this cute little...
What a happy sunshine.
Yes. There. Sunshine. And then we also have the Miss June, which is the girl. She goes on K, which is right here in the middle. Now I'm going to leave her a little square because it's going to help me when I line her up, and I've got plenty of room. That's another little trick. Boy, that one peeled off really easy, didn't it?
It sure did.
Whew. Maybe I'm just getting better at it for right now. Okay, so she looks pretty centered to me. I'm going to smear her down. Shouldn't smear her, I'm smushing.
Smushing her.
I'm smushing her. Don't you love that word? I love the word smush or smoosh.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Certain words I like. You know, some words are fun, like giggle. Giggle is a fun word.
Good.
Okay, the next piece we have, or the next piece I'm going to do is summer, which is piece M. Right here.
And so again, this is Sulky Stick and Stitch. It's pre-printed with your stitchery design. And you simply peel it and put it in place.
And smooth it down with your hand. Do not iron. Can't say that enough. Also, I'll have to tell this funny story because you guys probably haven't heard it, or maybe you have if you've sometime. I know I told it before. A couple years ago, I think, I got an email from a lady who was so upset with her husband because she was stitching another one of Lindsay's series, which was Calendar Girls. And I guess they were camping somewhere, and she was sitting outside under their awning of their camper. And she was happily stitching away. And at that particular moment, her husband decided to crank down or whatever. He cranked the awning and dumped water all over her. And she got totally drenched with water, which then, because of the sticky stuff, the stick and stitch, the water messed up her design.
It dissolved it.
So she was quite angry with him, but we saved her day and got her some more parts, so she could keep going. But she had to stitch again whatever she had. So be careful if you're around anybody with a bunch of water. Just make sure that, they're...
Sounds like something Stephen would do.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Poor Stephen. Hello, Stephen, if you're watching.
He's not allowed to wash quilts.
No. Yeah. Especially something you spend a lot of time in. Okay, so there we have, that one is stuck down. Right?
So you're ready to stitch.
Yeah, I wish I'd have remembered my little trash bowl. Get my little mess out of the way. You can also, label this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 when you're constructing your block, because based on the units, but probably you'll be okay without that.
So what stitches are involved in this block?
What goes here? What did I do?
Oh, your applique.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot something. No, I didn't.
You put the applique on after you're done stitching and after you've dissolved.
Yes. The reason is because you don't want to, if you're using a hoop, you don't want to squish your applique in a hoop. That's my theory anyway. So we have this like this. Now the stitches on this one, we have, Brittany, if you want to come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, everyone excuse me walking around the table.
Close.
Excuse
Can I just move this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oops.
So this block, our friend Karen helped us stitch for the sample.
Yeah. So what we have on her is the basic back stitch that you've been using. We have some lazy daisies on these cute little flower leaves by the flip-flops. Satin stitching on the flip-flops. French knots right here. And
I think those are the only
we
stitches.
have these X's on this are just large X's, large crosses. It doesn't, you don't have to do back stitches through there. We just did it as a regular X. And it's kind of obvious when you look at the pattern piece. See, you can tell that would just be a quick X. Now, we tell you the threads that we used. We don't necessarily tell you exactly which thread was used where. And you are welcome, and we encourage you to stitch it whichever colors you like. For instance, this summer here, Karen stitched it in purple. You don't have to do it in purple. You could make this be green if you wanted, or orange, or whatever.
I was going to say, I'll show the colors that you are working with this month, and they're so vibrant and beautiful. So if you wanted maybe that turquoise color, you could, or yellow, or poppy.
Is this poppy?
I think that is poppy.
I think so too. They have names, and we know some of the names just because we use them a lot. I love this sulky thread. Are you guys loving the sulky?
Yeah, give a like if you love the sulky thread.
Sweet.
If you're just joining us, the sulky thread is what's in your Girls Life kit. If you're a member, if you're not a member, you can still join in on the fun. But Mom, tell us what's great about the sulky thread.
Oh my gosh. There's lots of things great about it. First off, it's called Sulky 12 weight cotton. And it's equivalent to 2 strands of embroidery floss, what we typically think of.
Yes, Sylvie's loving the thread. It's awesome.
Embroidery floss. So another thing is this spool. I can't tell you how much I love this spool. I just pop the top up, see it goes up and down. You've probably had spools of thread like this before. And you just, you can cut off what you need. Let me just pull a piece of that off. Am I going to keep this? I'm keeping this one.
That is now your spool. Judy says it's the only kind she uses. Ditto, Judy. Me too.
Yay, Judy. All right, so then you can, once you're snipped your little piece, you can just wrap it around the top and then pop that top down, and it's there. Now, I will tell you one thing they're doing now, which is so fabulous, because this is a new thing. This right here on the base of this spool, it tells you now the color number, 1317. Because these little stickers on the top sometimes would come off. And what I used to encourage everyone to do was take a fine point Sharpie. And you can still do this if you get a spool that hasn't been...
I was going to say, that I think
new.
some are still sending out from Sulky to us without it.
There may be some colors that they still haven't got on the new spools.
Alice loves the threads too.
Oh, good, Alice. I'm glad you like them. And this, the number is at the bottom. But if you don't have a spool that has the number at the bottom, I suggest you take a fine point Sharpie, and you can very carefully write the little number code on the base of the spool. Or now it says Cotton Petites in the whole word. I don't think it did before. I used to be able to write it at the top and the bottom. But you can just write it on here. It really will save you because I can't tell you, I don't know, I take my thread.
You travel with your thread a lot.
My thread goes a lot of places, and I'll usually just throw it in a little zipper bag and zip up whatever I'm using. Even though those Sulky...
the slimline cases are great.
Slimline cases.
They're not really good for a plane, though.
No, they're too big. So I have two of those cases which have a lot of thread.
Did they say they were going to make mini ones, or did we just ask for that?
We talked about it. I don't know if it's happened yet.
I can't remember either. Wouldn't that be nice, y'all, if there were like little mini cases? That'd be awesome.
That's another thing that's wonderful about this is the number. Now we have the number on the spool that's going to stay there. It's 2 strands of one strand, but equivalent to 2 strands of floss. And it doesn't seem to tangle as much when you're stitching as the floss does. For one thing, you know, your strand stays nice and neat because it's only one strand and you get good coverage. Now, sometimes you may want to, on certain things, not on this. Well, actually on this you could if you wanted to.
When I do a satin stitch, I do too.
Yes, I will do that. Also, like on the, I'll just put this right here, you guys. But on this, on the Round the Sunshine, you could actually stitch this with 2 strands. That'll give you a little bit thicker accent. If you want to highlight a particular portion, you can do that. Most of the time, frankly, I don't do that. I will definitely do it a lot of the time when I'm satin stitching, simply because it gives you more coverage faster, and you can make it lay down real smooth. It's just nice and easy. And satin stitching, frankly, has never been my favorite thing to do. How about you guys? Do you guys love satin stitching? Do we have any loves on satin
No
stitching?
one said anything yet. We'll see if anyone loves satin stitching.
Yeah, not my favorite.
I prefer the back stitch over everything.
But I have a lot of questions. Brittany, will you give me that hoop right there?
Absolutely.
A lot of times I get questions about French knots because a lot of people struggle with French knots, and I used to detest them, actually, but I like them now. I will tell you that. I do like my French knots. So I'm going to take this needle from here, and I'm just going to use this on here. Oh, give me the hoop back. I meant to get the hoop. You guys, this is another design that Lindsay did for us, and it's called Happy 4th of July.
Oh, and we forgot to tell everyone that comments when you watch during the live video or after the video, through the weekend, we are going to pick from all of the comments. We have a piece of software that picks for us, and someone will win the Land That I Love pillow pattern.
Oh, well, that one's not back here right now.
It's not back here, but
Sorry,
it's the match with that. It's adorable.
It was designed, or the pillow was designed by me, but the stitchery is from Lindsay, which is the cutest part.
So frankly. Cute. If y'all haven't seen the new 4th of July designs, they're adorable.
But look at this little girl. Isn't she just the cutest? And we did a little Facebook Live on this one recently. If you didn't catch it, you can go back and catch it later. But she's just so adorable. So anyway, we were talking about stitches, and then, you know, a lot of people have said, French knots bug me. You know, I like French knots now. But I will hoop this up, and I will show you how I do a French knot.
Thanks, Kathy and Sylvie say it's so cute and adorable.
Thank you.
Everything that Lindsay draws. And y'all, we can't tell you what they are, but we have several really fun projects that we're working on with Lindsay and Georgiana that are going to come out later this year and planning all the way into next year.
And one of them is so fun, you'll actually get something quite frequently.
The only hint we can say is there's one club, well, you'll get something fun every week. That's all we can say. Patty says she loves our patterns. Oh, she has all the calendar girls. Thanks, Patty.
Weren't they fun? Those are just the cutest little girls.
I remember the day, gosh, it's been like 4 or 5 years ago now. At our old office, Mom was like, oh my gosh, you have to see this. And it was the calendar girl individual blocks. Mom was like, we have to turn this into a quilt right away. And that was how calendar girls came to be.
Right. Okay, so I do my French knots. On this, I do it with 1 strand. Sometimes I do them with 2. It depends on what I'm doing. Like, actually,
I was going to say, here, let me grab the camera. I'll come in close.
you could do this either way.
Oh, Judy did the calendar girls too.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to do these French knots. Like here, these are just a single wrap or a single strand with 3 wraps, I believe. You can vary your wrap number and your strand number. Do whatever makes you happy.
I typically do 4 wraps.
You do?
I like big French knots.
Okay.
But again, that's what's fun about the stitchery. Everybody can do it their way.
Okay, so I'm going to come up into the center of the dot. It doesn't matter because the dot's going to go away anyway. And then I usually hold my thing to my strand to the side, which I know this is going to appear backwards. I'm holding it to the left, and because I'm left-handed, but I stitch with my right hand. Go figure. So I put my needle in my hand. I put it behind the thread, or the thread in front of the needle, and I wrap. In this case, I'm going to go 3 times around, 3 times. And then I come down really close to where I went in. You don't want to go exactly because you'll hit your knot that you put in at the end of your thread.
And that's no fun.
That's a booger. And then I just hold this taut, not real tight. You can see it's loose. And I pull it through. If you hold it super tight, you can't get your knot through. And look at that. That's a cute little French knot.
Beautiful French knot.
Now, Brittany's knot would be bigger because
mine,
she
I don't know why I wrap 4 times. It's just...
And I know that sometimes if I'm using 2 strands and I want to do it, I'll wrap just only twice.
Oh, so that's true. That'd be a big French knot.
You can try different ways. I encourage you to try 2 strands, 1 strand, wrap 3 times, wrap 2 times, wrap 4 times, whichever. Just check it out and see what you like. Okay?
And a fun tidbit, I don't know if everyone remembers this, like if you're new to A Girl's Life, in your account on Miss January, we have a little stitchery practice that you can trace or print out onto the sulky if you have some of that sulky stick and stitch. And that way you can practice your stitches on like scrap fabric before you do your real project.
And we also have some videos on YouTube about doing directions on the different stitches, right? Just
yes.
A plain old video.
Absolutely. Yep. If you go to our YouTube page, Stitches of Love on YouTube, in the search within our page, you can type in like backstitch or French knot and the videos will come up.
Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is once I get this stitched, I made my thread double-stranded. So this is again going to be equivalent to 4 strands of floss if I was using regular floss. And Brittany, if you'll show right here, this is 1 strand going around the sunshine, right? And I'm going to show you what it looks like if you do it with 2 strands. And I know I'm using the wrong color or a different color, but I can take this out. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to go forward a little bit. Oh, that was too small. That stitch is too small, but we'll go back.
And so you're showing us a back stitch right now?
I'm showing you the back stitch, but I want you to be able to see the difference on how it looks with 2 strands versus 1. And because this is the sunshine, I kind of wishing that on my quilt I had done the double strand of the sulky, but I didn't. So you want to come right back in the same hole. And again, I don't have my bifocals on. I thought I did, but I was actually wearing my sunglasses, you guys. Brittany made me take them off.
I did. So the trick of the back stitch is to always go back down in the same
hole.
The same hole. That helps you not have that like dashed effect, which when I first started stitching, I had that problem big time. Oh, Teresa, thank you. She says she loves our live videos. That's so sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you. That makes our day.
And I think that a lot of times you want to be really careful with this with your back stitch on this well, really with all your stitches, you always want to be careful, but if you leave a gap on this, it's more noticeable, I think, because it's a surprise, is what I'm trying to say. When you do this, dissolve your sticker, it may be a giant surprise.
And actually, recently I had a project where I had some dashed lines accidentally, and I went back and did just like one little filler stitch.
Yes, you can do that.
And just knot it off in a couple spots.
And that's another thing I'll tell you, you can do. You can, if you have a stitch that's not quite right, or not in the spot where you really wanted it, let's say that this stitch right here is a little bit forward into the inside. It doesn't really matter, but you can actually take your needle, it's easier with just one strand, and kind of just go really close to the edge and push it back into submission.
Make it go where you want it.
And then just keep going on.
I do that a lot too.
Do you?
Yeah.
But see, now you can tell this
yeah, let me go down for everybody.
This is thicker than that.
So the yellow is 2 strands and the orange is 1 strand.
So, you could do however you like. I think it's fun. I love these. And as people ask me what's my favorite block, I really like this little girl from May. The colors, she was just so sweet to me. I loved her. But now might be a good time to show some of the other ones.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's go through.
You guys want to see some of the...
Here, I'll come back. Sorry for the videography, you guys. I was going to go back into the tripod, but now I'm going to come back out here.
Okay, so the next one, next month, is July.
She's really fun.
I love everything red, white, and blue. Isn't she cute?
So July.
And Karen stitched this one for me too. Karen was a great helper. We worked so hard on this, getting it done. And this one was fun to do. I love the way the Ohio Star did with the stripes on the applique.
You want to show us the next month?
Yes, the next one after that is, and this isn't quilted yet, obviously. So I don't have buttons on here, and this isn't trimmed exactly right, but we have a little pin up here.
Beatrice.
And Beatrice the pig. Georgiana likes Beatrice, she said. And this is, of course, August with this cute little ice cream cone with sprinkles.
My favorite.
Lindsay remembered the sprinkles. Isn't that cute? And this little little girl.
So cute.
And then we have September.
I think September might be my favorite. It's also my birthday month, so I'm prejudiced.
She was really cute. And oh my goodness.
Look at the alphabet on her. So cute.
Isn't it fun? And I tell you, I love the way this paper did. We used a light gray thread for the lines, and then I used a variegated pink for the edge, because I remember my school papers being like that. I don't know if they still make it that way, but...
Do kids still write?
Of course they do write.
Okay.
Don't they?
I don't know.
Well, let's hope so. How are they going to sign their name? So anyway, here we have, look at this. Lindsay wrote September on, like it would be on the chalkboard. You guys remember the teachers with their chalkboard?
I even had that.
The five lines or whatever, so they could teach you how to write. Well, if they're not teaching them, oh gosh.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't have kids.
Okay. Anyway, maybe somebody will tell us. Hopefully they're learning how to write. And then here we have October.
Oh, she's so cute too.
Look at that cute little witch. She's a happy
I
little
love
witch.
her little face.
And look at the spider. He's adorable. And then we have a bat and a moon. And this one is a gray fabric, but it's actually the wrong side of the gray. Can you see that?
That's a Riley Blake shades. You do that a lot with that gray. You turn it.
Because I like this color gray better. It's lighter. Don't hesitate on some of your fabrics.
Zoe loves the witch. Me too. She's so cute.
Your fabric is good either way. So a lot of times if you don't have quite the right shade, you can flip it over and use it the other way. You just need to be careful with that. And gosh, I have a chair in my sewing room at home that it's a club chair, and I had it reupholstered with a striped fabric. And the guy, I told him, I said it was too bright, but it was perfect colors. And so I said, I want you to do this completely inside out. Use the fabric backwards, right, wrong side out. He did everywhere except for on the very front on these 2 little things on the arm, and he refused to fix it. So I have my little crazy
And you never
chair.
hired him again.
No, I'm not. But anyway, little tidbit story. And this is Miss November. Isn't she cute?
So adorable.
Her sweet little dress.
I love the word November this month. The way that is. That one? Yeah, I love that in there.
And this stitch is a fun little stitch that we'll talk about later. I forgot what it's called. But you basically do the lines and then you draw it up together. So that was kind of fun.
I don't think I know that stitch.
Yeah. And then this is
and
December.
She's so sweet.
Isn't she cute? Oh my goodness. And
she's
I just
adorable.
love this one. I think, these blocks, you could turn it into a cute pillow, just making a block.
That's what I've been thinking. I think it would be fun to get a second box every month and make it just a 12-inch finished pillow to change out. Wouldn't that be cute?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe do it for like a second year. Stitching 2 at one time might be a lot.
We've had some people that did, especially the calendar girls, more than once. And I'm like...
Yeah, actually, I would say about 10 or 20% of the people get 2 calendar girls every month. They're much quicker to stitch, though, I will say.
Yeah, there's not as much stitching.
Do you want to show us January through June for those for the people who are not members? They can see it
sometime soon, hopefully, and you can see the full quilt. Now, because it has a scalloped edge, it's got this large border, which we will give you enough fabric to make this large border so that you can scallop your edge if you want to, or your quilt.
Yeah, and you'll get all club members will get all that in their finishing kit.
Yeah. So here's Miss January, and I love this saying on this one. It says, "Today is the first page of a 365-page book with a make it a good one." What?
Write a good one.
Write a good one. I can't see upside down. And then isn't this the prettiest little snowflake right here? Oh my gosh, I love this snowflake.
So dainty.
Yes. And then this January with it just was fun. I love this. And the snowflake little fabric behind. And then of course, Miss January. Who could not love her?
Adorable.
I just love these colors on her. And then we have little Miss Sweet February, who's in love. She loves to love. She's a little sweetie pie.
I love the postage stamp.
Yes, isn't that cute? But look at her in there. She's just adorable.
So sweet.
And then lucky little Miss March right here.
Our Irish girl.
Yes, guys, we went to Ireland. If you have the time to go somewhere like Ireland, I encourage you to go. It is the most fabulous place.
Mom's favorite country, isn't it?
I love Ireland. I want to move there. I love it.
I'm truly concerned she's going to move there, everybody.
No, I'm not, but I couldn't stand to be away from this kid. So anyway, here's Miss March. She's on a plaid background, and I have to tell you, that was so much fun to stitch. And that had a stem stitch going down. We had satin stitching, and it was just fun.
And for everyone joining, we are going over the Girls Life quilt. So for those of you just jumping on, this is a little fun preview of every block up close.
Yeah, and then we have April right here.
Okay, and she also might be my favorite.
She's so cute.
The thread kit for April, when y'all opened your beautiful April box, was it not amazing?
All the colors are so pretty.
And I think it was like 9 threads. They were gorgeous.
But look at her. She's wearing little bunny ears. I think she's so cute. And for those people who come to our retreat, we have a fun project having to do with your heads.
We have a Waco retreat. Registration isn't open just quite yet. But it's going to be Lindsay and all the Adorn It girls and us. And there may be dressing up as a girl. Maybe. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. But look how Lindsay did these letters for April. She is just so talented with lettering. Her lettering is fabulous. And I would encourage you guys, if you like to do any lettering or play with any of that kind of stuff with pens and pencils and colors and watercolors, Lindsay has some classes on her Etsy shop, which I believe is called the Paper Rabbit. Mm-hmm. And you can take classes to learn how to do her lettering. It's so much fun. I've taken some of them. I haven't finished. I think I bought them all, but I haven't done them because I don't have time. But oh my gosh, they're so much fun. And really, anything that we want lettered, we just ask Lindsay and she does it for us. So,
so why learn?
So I don't have to do that right now, but I really would love to. And her watercolor painting is just fun. It's so relaxing.
Oh yeah, her live the other day where she was doing like that watercolor method with a Ziploc bag.
Oh,
that was cool.
Lindsay's got talent like crazy. Okay, so then here is Miss May, and she's just
Susan wants to go to the retreat. Yay! It's going to be so
Susan.
much fun. We're like dying to launch the registration.
Yes, and I haven't been to Waco to Magnolia and the Chip and Joanna stuff.
But the very first day of the retreat,
we get to go.
We all get to go. We have
Everybody
a little trolley.
so that should be fun.
Yeah, everybody will get on a little trolley, and we'll have I think it's like 3 to 6 p.m.
Yes.
It'll be really fun.
It's going to be called the Girlfriend's Getaway.
It's going to be awesome. And then that night, we're going to have a book signing with Lindsay.
Because she's going to have a book soon.
It's going to be cute.
Okay, and so the applique on this one for May was probably more than the others, I think, probably. But it was really simple. These are just little wedges, like orange peel wedges. And then you can actually just stitch around. It's real easy. I encourage you to put those on and stitch them down and then trim your block a little bit and then put it in here. It's easy.
So fun.
It's fun.
Such a beautiful, beautiful
quilt. Look at this pretty flower. I love it. I love it. And so we're back to Miss June, where we were today, where we started, you guys.
Back at the beginning.
But if you're interested in doing this, the Girls Life, and you haven't signed up and you want to, don't worry, you start with Miss January and we proceed right along, and it's so much fun.
And all the threads build on themselves, so by the end of the year, you have a fabulous thread collection. And Mom, do you want to show them the box really fast before we're done?
You guys.
I think we should call them collectible boxes.
They do look the same every month. We've had lots of good comments about the boxes. Lindsay drew this up for us. I think these girls are super cute. I think we should do these as a stitchery.
That would be a really cute, just one thing. That'd be a cute pillow.
It would be, or a little wall hanging to have.
That's a good idea.
In your, if you did this for a child's bed, or
you love someone a lot to make that for their bed.
Well, you could do it, however you did it. I personally would put it in what I call a twin bedroom, and have this on one bed.
It'd be really cute hanging between two twins too.
Yes, it would be so fun. But you could have this done as a stitchery. We need to talk to Lindsay and adorn it about doing this little box for us.
As a stitchery, that'd be super cute. Patty loves all the blocks.
Oh, good. I'm so
we
happy
do
you like it. And then on the back is where your label goes, and it says, "We hope you enjoy every."
So cute.
Because we do. We just want everybody to have fun. So if you ever have any questions when you're making your blocks, just let us know, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Yay! And thank you all so much for commenting and joining in. As a reminder, no matter if you're watching it live right now or watching this after the fact, comment and tell us what you love about A Girl's Life, or comment and just say hi, because next Monday we will pick one lucky winner to win one of Lindsay's brand new 4th of July stitchery patterns.
This is one of them.
Sylvie says she loves them all, but the witch is her favorite.
I like the witch. I actually stitched the witch first.
I was going to say, you started with October.
I thought she was super cute.
You should tell the story of how, well, maybe it's not that exciting, but we were sitting in a restaurant on a picnic table putting together the girls.
Talking about it. It's been so much fun working with Lindsay and Adorn It on these projects that we do with them.
Yay!
We have the best time, and I hope that you have fun stitching. That's the most important thing, is have fun with it. Don't stress. If you change the colors, change them.
And thank you all so much. I'm glad you're enjoying the video. Connie says she loves doing the blocks.
Oh, good.
And Judy and Sylvia too. Thank you. That's awesome.
Oh, good. So,
yay!
We are so happy you joined us today, and happy stitching.